Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday, the 5th of July. So we're on our 5th video of the month so far, so I really hope you're enjoying these daily videos that I'm bringing to you. My name is Warren Bennett. We've got Trev. He's actually in a really silly mood at the moment. He's been bouncing about and he's been chasing his tail, so hopefully he's calmed down for this video, but you might see him shoot past the camera every now and again. So today's video is all about speed and distance. Now you can't have distance without speed, so I'm going to give you some exercises that you can do to improve your speeds, because what I think you don't want to do is to go out on the golf course and hit it harder. I think speed should be built into your golf swing, and I've got some exercises, some lovely little exercises for you to do, maybe away from the golf course, maybe to do at home, in your garden, maybe 5 minutes a day, between shots on a range, something like that. Just general kind of practice. So I've got some drills that you can kind of layer into your golf swing, so when you kind of come to play golf you don't even think about it. So front camera set up, keep Trev calm, and we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so going on to the first one, and it's my favourite, it's the feet together exercise, and I've kind of dipped my toe in the water on this exercise quite a lot on the channel, because I think it's one of those no-brainers. Because if you put your feet narrow, you know, let's say a club width apart, and this can be done with anything. I've got a driver today. This can be done with anything. The closer you have your feet together, the harder this exercise is, because you're basically taking away the base of your swing. So if you haven't got a base, so it's very narrow now, it's going to stop the amount of movement you can do with your body. So you're going to have to swing the club with other parts, and that's going to be your hands and arms. And to have an efficient hand and arm swing can really generate quite a lot of swing. That's my first swing of the day. Oh, that hurt my hand. So being able to have an efficient arm swing, you can create a lot of swing now and a lot of speed. Now, I've always said there's a right and wrong way to do anything. You can still cheat when you do this, so you can still swing and move your body too much, but you will feel it in terms of gyroscope. You will kind of get pulled off the ball and you'll want to fall over. Secret is to have an efficient arm swing by swinging long. And you can see on the follow through, my arms are in front of me. I'm not just cutting it off short, they're swinging all the way through. So it's really allowing my arms to be a little bit disconnected from my body. I know that's probably not in favour for most of us golfers, because I think a vast majority of golfers who suffer from lack of distance have their arms stuck to them too much. So we need to kind of educate our arms to get away from our body. And one of the best ways is feet together. Feet together, and then swing your arms freely, and then you're just trying to create that kind of swoosh down the bottom. You can see I'm kicking off a little bit, so I'm still putting a little bit of weight onto my left side, but not enough for me to fall over. But the biggest thing is I'm keeping my head still. Yeah, so I did a video, and the title was I've been doing this drill for 40 years, and it's all about this feet together, and I'll go into more detail about that if you want to go and have a look after this video, obviously, if you can. Yes, so feet together. I love no-brainer exercises, because if you keep your balance and you create speed, then you're going to have an efficient arm swing. So you can hit balls by doing that. One little tip I would say, make sure you create length on the way back, a little bit of hinge, and then I'm going to swing all the way through and make sure my arms are kind of out in front of me. I don't want my arms around. Having your arms swinging left and around you is going to kind of pull your body too much. So the whole idea is to be able to swing more efficiently and a bit more freer with my arms. Fantastic exercise. You can do it with any club you like, and then you can just stand there and you'll get a feeling. Just wait for Trev to go past. The more swings you do with your feet together, and you'll get a sense of feeling of where your arms swing, and then you can just step into the shot. You don't even have to think about it, and then hopefully a little bit of that arm swing efficiency will layer into your normal swing. Okay, let's get on to the second one. Oh, it's sausage, isn't he? Hey! Not playing ball at all. He wants to play ball. I'm doing a video, I can't do anything. Okay, number 2 for increasing speed and distance is baseball swings. Now, a lot of problems come because we hit a shot on the floor, and this is why golf is so hard. It's not like tennis, where we're kind of horizontal swing, apart from a serve, I suppose. Yes, it's on the floor, or a little bit up from the floor, obviously, if we're using a tee. So baseball swings can really improve how you swing your club and how you swing your arms, and create the natural speed as well. So what do I mean by baseball swing? So take your normal stance, but what you're going to do, you're going to imagine you're playing a shot from up high. So you can see I'm pretty much horizontal from the behind camera. And the secret to baseball swings is to be able to swing on that same plane as you started. So you can see the line there. I don't know if it's parallel to the ground, it's pretty close. And the secret now is to keep that club parallel to the ground. What you don't want to do is swing differently and swing up here, because now you're practicing across. So what you got to do is try and swing as flat as you can. And that's not as easy as it looks actually, because if we're used to being steep and over the top, we can kind of come this way over the top. So the secret is to kind of really feel like this club is staying as flat as you can. There you go. Now you don't swing like this all the time, and obviously you don't play golf like this, but this baseball exercise is a real good one to get your club and your plane flatter. And there you can see, is it Miguel Jimenez does this kind of weird practice swing around like this, because what he's trying to do, I think, is to be able to kind of feel this club flat, or get on plane a little bit easier, get more round. Because when you think about it, a golf swing is an arc, and it swings round. The flatter we can get our swing, the more efficient and more speed we can create with our release and arms. So just stand there and just swing some nice kind of flat swings, as flat as you can make it. Don't feel like you're tempted, like you're pointing the club up. Here, the plane of this driver, as you can see, is flat. So you've got to try and keep it on this same plane all the way through. Now, you can bring it down a little bit, let's say halfway between where we were and the ground. So you can see it's kind of at this angle now. So you don't have to be as flat. You can be a little bit kind of steeper if you like, but you're still trying to keep that club going round you. And it's a real great one for centrifugal force, because if you can stay on that kind of plane, if you can stay on that flat plane, the club will get thrown out for you. And I think it was yesterday's video where I said I became a beginner again. And it's the same thing. You're learning to swing the club flat and not steep. So if you're an over the topper and quite steep and you're struggling to hit a driver, this flat baseball swing exercise is an absolute beauty, because the more we swing up and flat, the quicker the club wants to swing and get thrown out to the ball. So it produces what I call natural speed. It's not something that's steep. Steep and choppy doesn't create natural speed. You have to kind of back away out of it, and the club isn't swinging. It's not swinging around you, and that's what a golf swing is. And like I said in the previous video with the feet together, too many people have their arms stuck to their body too much. They don't disconnect and have a kind of a free wheel of this golf club. The flatter you can get this plane, you can see that's pretty much horizontal, the easier it is to swing round with speed. You can start up here and you can slowly bring the club down. So flat, and then just carry on and just slowly bring it down to the ground, just like a few inches at a time. And then you get a sense of feeling of where this club wants to be, and you continue this feeling. Remember, the more reps you do, the more feeling you're going to get. Even after those few swings, I feel my arms kind of really pulling. From about here, my arms and my club pulling, throwing out. Fantastic exercise to create natural speed, because this is what these exercises are. These are what these exercises are about, for you to stand over the golf ball and just hit it without having to create the power and try and shove it, because I want it built into your kind of DNA of your golf swing. And then you can come to hit your drive, go out in the golf course, and you don't have to think about these things. You don't have to think about your feet together or baseball swing. Sure, you know, between shots on the tee, you can do some swings around you and feet together exercises. You can do feet together with baseball swings. How good is that? But it's here to kind of have some continuity of your practice. The more you can do this, switch the kettle on, where you've got 5 minutes, let the dog out, bring your club, get an old club in the back garden and swing. Do these exercises, feet together. Because what I see is, because we go incline, so when we go down on the ground, that produces the problem of steep and over the top. The flatter we can get everything, the more you're going to encourage this club to swing better. And then you just let it go when the club goes on the ground. Okay, so let's get on to the next one. So the third one is encouraging our weight transfer onto our front leg in the transition. Too many people stay back, so this exercise is a great one. Actually, there's kind of 2 for the price of 1 for this one. First little one is a stepping exercise. Feet together, make your backswing. Just before you get to the top of the backswing, I want you to step through and swing. So it's really encouraging you to kind of really feel like this kind of planting this front leg here. So just before, you can see there, just before I get to the top of the backswing, I'm stepping forward here. And that's kind of a, obviously there's no golf ball down there and you don't do this with a ball. I have seen people do this with a ball. It's difficult, so I wouldn't if I were you. So remember, it's just great for the garden and just kind of practice getting this weight moving. You can see there. Obviously everything is moving here. So I'm moving my front leg and my head as well, but it's like really getting weight and practicing your kind of feeling here. Being able to have lateral movement in your golf swing, especially if you're an over the topper, is going to encourage the club to drop down. I said it in a previous video. So the more lateral you can get your golf swing, the more your club and arms want to drop down. If I just stood and did the opposite, so if I made a backswing and kind of wanted to throw my weight on my back leg, the club's going to want to come out here. It's got nowhere to go. My body's in the way really. But this front stepping exercise allows this kind of gap for my arms and club to fall into. Right, so you can't kind of play golf stepping into it, that's for sure. But what you can transfer that kind of feeling into it is you can really feel like just before you get to the top of the backswing, you can really feel your weight shift going over to your left side there. With a driver, especially, is you keep your head still and do it only with your bottom half. So there's a little bit of separation there, which is a really good thing for driving, because what that does, that little pressure shift over to your left side there and into your left side, is keeping your head there, allows the arms to swing and it puts natural loft on the face. If I just did this with my top half, I'm going to de-loft it and smother it and put no loft on that club at all. That's why people struggle, I think, hitting driver a lot. And it doesn't create the speed and distance you're looking for. So it's a step-in exercise, and then when you come to hit the shot, obviously you can't step in, but you're looking for that pressure shift over to your left side. So you're looking for that same feeling of doing that, but you're doing it obviously with your legs stationary. So you're doing that pressure over. You're just kind of transferring your pockets from one position at the top of the backswing and you're just sliding them over. And after that, release and speed happens for you. Right, okay, so sun's coming out, which is lovely. Let's get on to the next one then. Okay, number 4 is the hinge and snap. So there's ways we can move our body. I'd like to introduce some coil, but just trying to keep it as simple as possible. I'd like you to feel some hinge. So if you've got some hinge halfway back, I want you to try and keep that and snap it halfway down. So it's like a whip. So you've got some hinge, you're just going to snap it. You really kind of feel, because without wrist movement, without a little bit of wrist movement and snap, you're not going to be able to release it with speed. Because if you haven't got any angle coming down, if you're a caster of the club, then you can't release it. So you're going to have to kind of shove it with your body, and that's a distance loss. So being able to kind of use your wrists, so get your club in your fingers with your grip, don't get it in the palms, get it right in your fingers, because the more you have it in the fingers, the more range of motion you've got in your hands. So a little bit of hinge, and then really feel that kind of be increasing that angle. So you can do this little exercise when you're at home, you see. So 90 degrees, halfway back, and then you're trying to look for it to be a little bit more acute, or at least just keep it the way it is. You can see I'm dropping my club and my arms into me. I haven't let go of that angle yet, so I'm keeping it up and back behind me. As you can see with the circle, the club is behind me still. And then now I've got something to get rid of. Because if you haven't got anything to get rid of, you can't release it under speed. You need to kind of drop it into that kind of loading zone. All right, so hinge and kind of load, I'd call it, instead of hinge and snap. Hinge and load that club into the slot, bang. So you can see my club and my hands are quite deep down. The club is still back behind me. Under speed, it's probably going to get thrown out, but that's the feeling in transition, especially. So you're creating a bit of hinge, 90 degrees, you can see, but the transition, you're creating a little bit of kind of drop in, and you're really allowing this club to stay back and with some angle. You can see it's behind me, and then you can get rid of it. So that kind of hinge and load, I would say, was a great one to kind of improve your internals in the transition. Okay, so let's get on to the 5th and final one. Okay, so the 5th and final one is, I'd say, a bit more elite. So a lot of top players have this kind of squat and lift. So you can see what I'm doing there, you know, like the step-in drill. All my weight's going forward here, but from here you can't carry on there. There's got to be rotation. And like I said about club golfers, you kind of got too much rotation built in too early anyway. But I would say what you need to do, you need to delay that rotation. So we're all into our front leg here, no matter what your standard. And then from here, there's a kind of an opening up and lifting. So you can see what my pocket does there. And a lot of pros do this without their even knowing about it, is what you're feeling here is your left pocket is going up and around. So it's pulling this club back to the ball. And it's a real guide, because a question you might be asked is, well, what do I do from here? Yes, the club gets released into the ball, but if you're squatting and you're into your left side, you can't just stay there because you're going to hit the ground. So a great feeling from about here onwards is like your left pocket gets pulled up away. So imagine there's a string and a bit of elastic getting pulled up and out. So it doesn't just go left. So remember, like the lateral shift over, it doesn't just stay there. Now from here, pull and rotation happens from there. So my left pocket goes back and up, and then you see that kind of drive with your legs. So you can see like Scotty Scheffler with his feet, that's what he does fantastically. And his feet are a reaction to what his hips are doing. So from here, you're looking for your left pocket, not just to carry on going forward, is to get pulled up and left. And that pulls that club back online. So that impact, you can see, it kind of gets pulled, and all my body, from my left side of my body, is getting pulled left and up. So especially with a driver, that impact, you've got this kind of strong left side you're hitting into. You're not just staying there and just doing nothing. So a great follow through feeling, and obviously it's a blend, everyone, is from this transition motion, you're kind of blending up your power squat into your left side. So you're shifting over, and then from there you're pulling. This pocket goes back and up. So it really pulls that club back online. So someone like Rory is unbelievable at that kind of pull, and it pulls all his body up and out. And it really allows his club to get thrown down the line. So left hip gets pulled, you can see, it goes pulled up, up, up. And that's a real power move that happens very quickly. Okay, let's go for it. Pull up, see if I can blend it into my downswing. Oh yeah, definitely felt some sort of kind of reaction to where my club and my legs are going through impact. Remember, impact's a difficult place, you can't feel it, it's absolutely going so quickly. But you can be guided, that club can be guided by how you move your pockets and how you move your waist. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for watching. And in my head, this video was always going to be quite a short one, but I do like a waffle, don't I? I do like to carry on and waffle, but I think they're quite good little exercises, these. They've got a bit of blend of kind of, like I said at the start, the no-brainers. So let's say the baseball swings, feet together, and then we're introducing a little bit more technique and a little bit more mechanics and a bit more putting and feeling. But I'd say a combination of them all, hey Trev, combination of them all would really benefit you. Obviously the ones that are going to be a little bit more mechanical and you've got to make sure you're in the right position, it's obviously going to be a little bit more difficult than the ones you can just stand there and swing and be a bit more kind of freewheel. But it's a combination of everything. Having something that's difficult and you're not sure at the start doesn't mean it's wrong, but I'd introduce all those. And there's obviously more than 5, and I'll introduce probably more either in this month or going forward. You know, how to hit your driver a bit longer, how to create more natural speed and things like that. But there's many videos on the channel about that as well. And everything here on the channel is for you to understand. You know, creating speed's a difficult one because the first natural reaction for a golfer is to hit it harder. And yes, that is the case. That club needs to be travelling faster, obviously, but you don't actually try and physically do that. It has to be done with the right areas of the body. It has to be done in the right order and the right sequence, because more problems can start from that. You know, if you stand there and try and hit it at your laces, you know, a lot of problems can happen. But if you do it in the correct way and correct the speed in the right way and the internals are right and your arms and hands are working correctly, then natural speed can occur. And then obviously you're going to get more distance from there. Okay everyone, so Trev's brought his stick and he's now camped out on the mat, so I'm going to call it a day on this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if it's anything that you find of interest and you haven't subscribed, I'd love you to be part of the community, and please consider subscribing. I'd love you to be part of this kind of growing group we've got here. It's obviously small at the moment, but you know, every single person that comes along and subscribes. It's so appreciative because, you know, I'm only a small little place here. I'm doing it in my back garden, but I've always said it's the content that's the most important, not where I am. Okay everyone, so I wish you well and have a great golfing day if you're playing. Tomorrow I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in terms of content. If you've got any ideas, please send them over and I'll do my best to either put them in this weekend or going forward this month. Okay everyone, so from a breezy but very warm UK at the moment, hopefully we get a little bit more sun. Have a great golfing day and have a great golfing weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks everyone, cheerio.